Here she goes. This thing arrived. We're gonna take it slow and steady. Probably put some chocks underneath the wheels, roll it back. Keep putting chocks so we get it over there, and then let it all the way down. No mam czas, to nic. Here she is. Lo and behold, 1973 Porsche 911 T. E or S. So VIN number is a 911T. Deck lid says S. Motor has a green fan shroud that could be from an E. So mystery. This is the first time I'm looking at the car in the daylight, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a glance over a little bit. Maybe check the oil, maybe check if the motor turns. Yeah, after that, I'm gonna pull it out and do more of a in-depth look around. Hope you guys enjoy. So we just got the car pulled out. As you can see, she looks real good from about 10 feet away, and her good side, check it out. Man, that thing actually looks like a sweet car. Don't mind this bungee cord. Whoop. So, car definitely has a lot going on. Has the incorrect bumpers, has the incorrect whale tail, has the incorrect seats, incorrect wheel, radio's missing. There's a lot going on. There's some damage on the car as well. 73, they weren't galvanized steel bodies, so this one definitely, you can tell by the work it needs. I'm not too sure what I'm gonna be doing with this car yet. I already have a few interested parties that might want to take it off my hands because it's a little bit too much for me to handle right now with all my current projects. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys a in-depth walk around, see what we basically bought. This car came from Tacoma, Washington. So basically on the other side of the country, made its way here, finally got here. I threw a battery in there. Just kind of turn the wheel, see if anything happens, and some of the gauges kind of sprung up, so that's really cool. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the trunk area, the front area, the interior, as well as the motor, and any other details that I think are pretty cool about this car. You'll see the kind of shoddiness that went down in trying to restore this car, and yeah, it should be fun. It's always exciting to see a car when it first shows up and basically figure out what you bought. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm gonna start out on the passenger side. So as you can see, let's see if you can see. Perfect. Door panels, both of them definitely need some love. It looks like someone tried to do something custom or completely just messed up the original stuff. So there's a manual window hole here. It's missing the knob as well as the speaker, but it does have automatic windows. So that's pretty interesting. I'm assuming someone at some point hooked that up. It doesn't look factory to me. You guys might know more. First thing you see when you go in here, there's the bungee cord holding on a fresh, minty, brand new driver's side fender. Why do we need this driver's side fender? You'll see in a little bit. Oh, this thing is beefy. So as you can see, brand spanking new replacement, long nose driver's side fender, gas cap as well, sweet. So getting a little closer look at the interior, throwing out a few more of these bungee cords. The car has some Recaro seats in it. This looks like some kind of knob that I'm assuming goes to something around here. I'll figure that out later. So it has some Recaro kind of racing bucket style seats. They're actually really sweet. I love how these look. Someone told me that they're out of an older BMW. So same era, 70s Beamer, these seats are out of. I'm not sure how true it is or not, or if the Porsche actually came equipped with some Recaros like this, but definitely gonna look into possibly getting these reupholstered and possibly looking into new seats as well, whatever is a little bit cheaper. But they're really cool, you know, hugs the hips, hugs the back, and they're just really retro. I love how they look. There's a head cover on it. Oh, that makes sense. So Wow, this stuff is literally just disintegrating. So I probably should be wearing some kind of mask. It's not too nasty in here just yet. There's nothing, I don't see any mouse crap anywhere yet. So, I mean, I'm just gonna keep digging around. So both seats are definitely gonna need a lot of love. I kind of sat in here earlier. So we got clutch, brake, and gas feel. Everything seems to be shifting smooth, and I believe it's a 5-speed transmission. So I'm gonna have to exactly find out what transmission's in here. A lot of people say the Sport-O-Matic is rare. Some say it's not, some hate it, some love it. I looked at the valuation of these cars, and they actually minus percentages from the value if it does have the Sport-O-Matic transmission. So that's pretty interesting. Once I get underneath the car, I'm gonna know a little bit better. So there's a little bit of funkiness going on back here. It looks like someone tried to pull out this entire panel without unbolting it. If you could see back there a little bit, I'll get a better angle. If not, there's original paint. It's the Bahama yellow, I believe, and it's a really, really cool color. So I'm pretty stoked about that. The white's cool, but Bahama yellow, gotta love it. You know, I love my old yellow color. This one's not bad as well. So here's that rear pan. As you can see, there was a bunch of stuff either drilled in it, a bunch of random holes in it. I'm not sure why. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of place that back in its position somewhat. So definitely there was someone trying to make custom mounting points for this car in spots where it shouldn't have been. So got the stock sound deadening in there. Interior honestly looks fairly decent. The actual carpet is kind of old and rusty crusty. That's not too uncommon. It's pretty normal for these old cars sitting. Doesn't have these bottom seat pads, which is no problem. I had those made for my 912, so I can easily make a couple more to fill that. So far the floor pans look really well. So the next thing is I'm gonna go ahead and just show you guys the front floor pans and the rear as well. Everything here looks pretty solid. I don't see anything that looks terrible. Mostly original equipment, so let's keep going. So first off, we're gonna be on the driver's side rear floor pan area. As you can see, there's some cracking in like the actual material that overlays it, but other than that, they look pretty structurally sound. There's no cheese holding and nothing too crazy. Even these edges look fairly decent. All that's pretty solid, so that's sweet. I'm gonna go ahead and push the seat back and we can check out the fronts. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel this mat forward, and I can already see that there's some moisture sitting here. That's never good. So that layer of padding kind of completely just rotted away, and there's some metal starting to go. Other than that, the pan looks fairly decent. There's a free tool right there, so already paying itself off. Go a little bit more forward. Some orange, you know, pretty normal with these cars. I don't think that actually went all the way through though. I can't really see anything from the bottom of the car when I saw it last night. So that's really good. I'm gonna go ahead and push. That one's back. You can see on the driver's side, the same thing. Kind of holes for the manual levers and then the hole for the speaker. And door panel is just kind of cheap. It feels cheap. So here goes the wires for the automatic windows. Looks interesting. You can see here, if I go ahead and turn, oil and gas spring up. So I'm not gonna try to fire it up or anything, just because, you know, we obviously want to go through some procedures to clean the tank out and, you know, make sure the motor actually turns. I'm pretty hyped. This is the rest of the interior. Dash has a tiny crack right there. My 912 crack was a lot larger, so pretty common. All the gauges look good. We got nothing in the glove box, nothing cool. Radio's gone. This gone as well. I think that's a cigarette tray. You can tell someone, you know, tried to do some body work, some primer, and, you know, before they painted it white. You know, I'm chipping back some of this paint, and look at that original paint color. It's pretty sweet. You can see more on this door sill right here. Look at that original yellow there. So definitely originally a yellow car. You can see underneath all the door panels. Got a nice headliner though. This headliner honestly looks almost brand new. What the? So that is something that's really cool. Did not know that zips and unzips. So that's cool. That's gonna be about it for the interior. I don't know if I mentioned that wooden steering wheel, but that's pretty cool. Nothing else really sticks out. Definitely just gonna need to pull everything out and clean it, and it's gonna basically need a full interior. If you can see how someone did that, that's just not quality work. So let's move on to the exterior. So starting on the better side, the passenger side looks fairly decent. It's hard to tell, but there's a few dings in this fender up front. So there's at least, you know, one here, another one there, and another right there. So there's 3 kind of divot dings on that fender, which could be fixed. Pretty surprised. Looks like someone, you know, dropped a few things on it at once. But we got some corrosion down here by the jack point, pretty common as well. The door sill area actually looks really solid, so that's good. They're known to rot out in that area right there, but those look good. Wheels look good. Fuchs all the way around. They look like they have minimal wear, minimal damage, so that's solid. Love to see that. We're gonna work our way around. As you can tell, it has a 911S badge on the whale tail style deck lid. So that's really sweet. If it turns out to be a 911S motor, I'll be pretty hyped. But as far as I know, it's a 911T. It has impact style rear bumper, which is very interesting. So I've never saw these kind of bumpers on early cars. So I don't know who makes them. I don't know if it's custom. That'd be insane if it's original, which it's probably not, but I've never saw it. It doesn't look terrible, but I definitely like the earlier style bumpers. This rear deflector, reflector, just needs to get picked up with the bumper, and then it'll kind of fit where it needs to. That's not a huge deal, something to note down. This side as well, both Fuchs wheels looks great. There's some damage on the window trim here, and all of these seals are just old and crusty. This door does not want to shut, so I'll troubleshoot that later. Windows cracked open a bit. Got one, I think, flag style mirror there. As you can see, this windshield area is just, you know, crusty, dusty. This is just a known area that goes bad, and you know, it's gonna need a lot of love there. Passenger side is not as bad, but you know, it's not really an uncommon thing to see that. Door has as well some rust starting below that jack point as well. So this is the main area that's gonna need the love first and foremost. The previous owner was backed into at a graveyard. So after a funeral, some older gentleman basically didn't see him, backed into his front fender. It basically crunched it up pretty good. The previous owner actually drove the car like this for about a year in this condition before he parked in his garage. So this fender is gonna get replaced with that brand new one right there. That's amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and take this fender off, make sure that there's nothing structurally messed up or bent, and then throw that new one on. So we're gonna definitely need a new grille and a new turning signal and headlight. So the headlight itself looks good. It's just gonna need that new cover and that sugar scoop, as you could call it. Same thing as the rear. The front bumper is also an impact style bumper, so it's pretty interesting. Has that lower lip as well, but this is not the correct bumper for this car. It basically looks like an impact bumper car, but still has a long hood. That's about it for the exterior. It's a sunroof car. Roof looks pretty solid. There's a few spots over there on the passenger side that are showing some age, showing some corrosion, but other than that, it's looking really good. There's nothing that stands out to me that is gonna need some attention. So far, that's about it for the exterior. Definitely a 10-foot car. I mean, standing from here, that thing looks quality. Let's move on to the frunk and the motor. First thing you can see when you look down here, hello, that's my hand. So these non-galvanized cars, that thing is trashed. These non-galvanized cars definitely show when you see all the corrosion and rust. It looks like they possibly were running a second battery, because there's this little cubby here that kind of looks like it would fit another battery, but I'm not 100% sure, because there goes that lead there. I threw in a battery I had laying around the garage, and that's why I just wanted to test if it would get power to it. So this front pan section here is completely gone. They sell this entire section, so very easy to acquire. I'm not going to say very easy to install, because people will go off and say it's difficult. I have some people that could probably do it for me. Looking into the interior a little deeper, you can see the original color popping up once again. There's a smuggler's box. There's that evap kind of canister. Everything else looks pretty basic. painted white. Hood looks like it was blue at some point. Definitely a lot going on. There goes that paint one more time. There was that badge. So nothing too striking in this front. That's about it. Needs a good cleaning. I definitely need to drain this tank. I think that's about half full with fuel, which kind of sucks. According to the gauge, it's full halfway. And then start troubleshooting and time to go through the whole procedure to get it started. Let's move on to the rear. Got my trusty piece of wood here so I can place it and hold it up. There we go. As you can see, it looks like a tired, sitting old motor. I checked the oil earlier and it was a little bit on the end. I also put a socket and turned the motor and it turns without any issues. No binding, no weird feelings. It actually was super smooth. So that's a really good sign. As I mentioned earlier, green fan shroud usually means it's an E. So yellow is T, red is S. Green fan shroud was possibly repainted sometime in the past. It doesn't really matter to me. If it's the original engine, that's good. If it's an E, that's good. If it's an S, even better. There's just a lot of crud everywhere in this engine bay. You can see the original color back here as well. It's interesting that they chose to paint some portions and some not. I'm gonna go ahead and take off this air cleaner and then investigate if there's any mouse crap back there. Kind of start looking into possibly cleaning it, making a list of what I'm gonna do to get this thing started, get it running. And yeah, let's check out that intake. So it looks pretty clean in there. Not much on this filter as well. Just pretty dirty, pretty much normal, no mouse crap. So that's pretty clean. I might actually go ahead and pull the spark plugs right now, or I'll save that for the next episode. But for now, I just wanted to see the most basic thing, check out how it looks underneath here. That's very interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this right back on and clamp it back down. One thing I did notice while I just took that off is, that's pretty weird. I don't know what happened to that strut. Hopefully we got a strut. Maybe it just broke off or came loose. Do a little investigating. Kind of go back there. Check out what's in there. Anything cool? Hello down there, buddy. That thing got snagged by somebody, but that's gonna be about it. I did notice that there's some kind of EPA specified performance exhaust, so that's pretty cool. Looks like those aren't connected. Underneath here, there's nothing too special, nothing that sticks out. Pretty oily, pretty rusty, crusty. Everything looks pretty good. So that's gonna wrap up today's video. As you saw, we did a little bit more of an in-depth walk around about the car, my thoughts on it, any issues that we found, and future plans. So the front fender needs to be changed, the car needs to get started. Those are the first two things on my to-do list. Be sure to subscribe to follow along with the progress, see how this thing kind of transforms. Hopefully we hold on to it long enough to where we actually can see it transform. Be sure to leave a like, drop a comment with your thoughts. If you haven't seen last week's video already, be sure to check it out. It's the 86 Targa storage find that we found. It was pretty sweet. It definitely needs a lot of love, and that one also we need to get started. If you guys know any channels that do restoration, barn find, startups, and they want to collab, I'm here in Cleveland. If they want to fly out and do something with this car, be sure to tag them. Reach out. I'd be down to kind of do whatever with someone. It's a really fun car. This one's been sitting, as far as I know, it's been sitting since '98. The seller said he drove it in 2000, so a couple of years after his expiration expired. Who knows? This thing's definitely been sitting for a long time. So I'm gonna go ahead and order a few things and add to the to-do list. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. I'll catch you guys next time. As always, be blessed and be superish.